Okay, so I got some stuff up here, which is the stuff that I'm gonna be working on, and let me just show you what it is and what is what. So over here you see basically everything, and starting from this, here are all the switches. These are the switches that the wrong switch. Oh, yeah. So these are the switches, the wrong ones I got, and this camera will not autofocus, so it's a little tricky for me to show, but essentially those are the switches. Here are all the things like microchips and stuff that are gonna be going in this this project. This is the microcontroller, which I'm using the Arduino Mega 2560. There's a little screen that we're gonna be using to show the patch editor. And then here is inducer, capacitor, the diodes, the resistors, more resistors. Is this not resistors? Oh, those are the LEDs. LEDs, and then these are resistors. Connectors, all sorts of connectors. And this is other hardware like the MIDI, the audio output, and the rotary encoder, crystal, and the fader. Over here I have the board, which is where I'm gonna be mounting this on, so you can have a good idea. It's my phone. A good idea what size this is gonna be. And finally, the star of the show. This little chip here is the Yamaha 2612. Which, since I spoke about music from video games, this chip is none less than the sound chip used in the Sega Genesis. Now, I know a lot of people. There's a lot of people who think the sound of the Genesis is not that great, but it's my favorite system. It is the system that I grew up playing, and I was absolutely fascinated by the music when I came out of the Master System and then switched to Sega Genesis, and it was mind-blowing back then. And there are games that show that this sound chip, well worked, can do marvelous things. And we have Streets of Rage 2, a lot of Konami soundtracks, like stuff like Ninja Turtles, Sunset Riders, and Shining Force, Sonic 2, Sonic 3. So you know, if you want, if you put the time into it, you can make great music with this sound chip. And that's just my start anyway, my starting point. I want to make this work and then go on into something bigger. Who knows, maybe make it switchable so that you can have multiple chips, and you can have NES sounds, SNES sound, Commodore 64, Master System, whatever comes to mind. But we need to start thinking, we need to think large but start small. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start building this, and my first task here is to lay all the parts in the circuit board to have an idea where things are gonna go, and see if I'm gonna have to rearrange in order to solder the tracks, because since this is a perforated board, it's, you know, it has no tracks, it just have holes, and it's not as easy to work with as a PCB. If I had a PCB, I would just like have my design and then put all the chips where they're meant to be, just solder, all the tracks are there. But no, I'm not gonna have any tracks, so this is what I'm gonna be making my tracks off: wires. So in the back of this board is gonna look like a total mess. I'm gonna try to make as organized as possible, but it's my first project. I never assembled anything like this before, and let's see how it goes. But I'll do my best to please all the neat freaks out there. Anyway, yeah, so let me get started, and I'll report on my progress very soon.